Hello guys, today I will be discussing about Ruan Mei's kit. From the character review released, we can see that she is a nice element, Harmony Path. Basically a support unit like Tingyang and Bronia. Her basic attack deals ice damage to a single enemy. Normal, nothing crazy here. But where things go interesting is her skill. Upon using her skill, she gains Overtone, buffing the whole team with damage increase and weakness break efficiency. Her ultimate then creates a field for certain amount of turns. During the field time, our characters can have increased resistance penetration. There is also one special effect where, during the field time, any enemy that got toughness break, then when it's the turn of that broken enemy, that enemy will sustain additional break damage from Ruan Mei and the broken state will prolong by 1 turn. Her talent increase the whole team's speed, and when a teammate break a target's weakness, it will deals additional break damage from Ruan Mei. Her technique is kinda long, so let's simplify it. Upon using it, you gain a buff until you enter a battle, and when you enters, Ruan Mei automatically uses her skill without any skill point. And in Stimulated Universe, using her technique will allow any of your teammate to ignore weakness type and enters into the battle with the respective attacker's element. For example, Silver Wolf attacks an enemy but the enemy don't have quantum weakness, it will still be regarded as attacking an enemy with quantum weakness. Furthermore, it can also reduce every target toughness but regardless of weakness type, which can be increased by every blessing you obtained. Phew, that was long. For the latter part, just think it as Silver Wolf's technique, similar but stronger in Stimulated Universe. Understandable, as she is one of the creator for Stimulated Universe. Now, about her traces. First, she increased team-wide break effect. Second, she regenerates energy at the start of her turn. Third, when Ruan Mei's break effect is larger by a certain amount, then for every certain amount over the limit can become buffed to the whole team's damage increase. Now that we have understand about her kit, let's talk about prediction and expectation of her actual values. Since Ruan Mei is the first limited 5-star Harmony character, she should be able to compete with Bronia. But I do agree that Bronia is hard to power creep due to her 100% action forward, which is very strong on its own. So, E0S1 Bronia can give up to 96% of damage increase from her skill and light cone buff. Therefore, I am expecting Ruan Mei can at least buff the whole team for around the same of that amount or higher to compete with 100% action forward. Moreover, Bronia's ultimate can give roughly 50% crit damage depending on her stats and also 55% attack increase. Then for Ruan Mei, she only have resistance penetration, and this is hard to guess alone, but I think around 20% is good because most enemy resistance will only reach 20% and some with 40%. Hence, having 20% resistance penetration will be decent while also not making Silver Wolf look bad. She also gives speed, weakness break efficiency and other extra damages. With all those summing up, I believe this is quite normal and good while not being extremely broken. When the actual stats get released, I will talk about will Silver Wolf be power crept by Ruan Mei. Stay tuned for that. Oh yeah, almost forgot about her light cone details which have recently been released. The effects at S1 are increase Wearer's break effect by 60%, and then when Wearer's uses ultimate increase the whole team's damage increase by 24% lasting 3 turns. Also, if the Wearer's break effect is more than or equal to 150%, then return 1 skill point. And during the start of every wave, the whole team regenerate 10 energy. And by that, we actually could guess that Ruan Mei's skill or ultimates buff probably last around 3 turns because they usually match with their dedicated light cone effects. Now let's talk about what team requires her. The best way to fully utilize her buffs is to use Ruan Mei in teams where there are multiple DPS. For example, the upcoming Doctor Ratio with Topaz team. This team will excel in crushing any single enemy with Topaz and Doctor Ratio helping each other to proc each other skills. Furthermore, Ruan Mei can also enter Mono Quantum team to temporarily allow DPS Sealy and sub-DPS Silver Wolf to deal high damage, but whether it's better to replace Bronia in that team for now is still unknown. Basically the idea here is any team with at least 2 DPS can make use of Ruan Mei's buff fully because of the team-wide buff. Most suited team would still be Dot's teams aka Kafka's team, follow-up attack teams, Topaz, Clara, etc. More testing to be done when she release, hoping I can get her, please Hoyoverse. So should you pull Ruan Mei? Well, if you have enough to at least take Sparkle or Hanabi in the next version. Then, it is very worth it to get one copy of her even without her signature light cone. Why? You asked. Because she provides team-wide damage increase buff, resistance penetration, speed and weakness break efficiency. And all of these buff is probably lasting for multiple turns, allowing easy buff to every character, and unlike Bronia's one-turn buff. Then what about her signature light cone? For me, personally, if you are able to grab it, sure, go for it, but it is not a must that would fully change how you use her. But rather stats increase. There are still many alternative, but more testing are needed, so wait for her actual release. But make sure you will still have enough for Sparkle, since every Harmony character aka supports are very strong and should not be simply skipped if you care about meta. If you don't, just pull for anyone that the designs attract you the most. It's a game after all, playing happily is the only goal you should move towards. And with that, the video is coming to an end. She seemed like a strong all-rounder buffer. She definitely will increase your team overall damage, but she is not 100% suited to every DPS. She most likely prefer Kafka's teams, Topaz ratio teams, team with random 2 DPS may be copium but playable for sure. I will do many testing with different comps when I get my hands on her. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. It really shows me that you find this guide useful. Thank you everyone.